hello there, my fellow members of L.I.E. Welcome to another video of L.I.E. That's the liberal illusionist empire. Today we'll be recognizing and commending the illusionist capabilities of Bill Maher, Nancy Pelosi, Jon Stewart, Ed Schultz, Lawrence O'Donnell, the creator of Doonesbury, Gary Trudell, and we have a newcomer, Mark Dayton. In addition, we will have a special tribute to Black America. Before we do that, I would like to play some audio of one of L.I.E.'s biggest threats. That is none other than the legacy of one Ronald Reagan. Brace yourself for this.
In 1927, an American socialist, Norman Thomas, 6 times candidate for president on the Socialist Party ticket, said the American people would never vote for socialism. But he said under the name of liberalism, the American people will adopt every fragment of the socialist program.
Holy crap, my shorts. What is the guy, a frickin' psychic? Well, the good news is there's no imminent threat to the lie. Let's just say this audio will never reach honest Americans because our good buddies at ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, and of course MSNBC have our rear ends covered. Ain't that right, Barney? Now, when I say honest Americans, of course you know that I use that term loosely because you know that I know that you know that we think most Americans are a bunch of greedy imperialists stomping around the world, forcing their tyrannical freedom all over you. So anyways, my fellow liberal illusionists, it's your fearless lie leader Obama here. And this video is only for members of L.I.E. So unless you are a member of the liberal illusionist empire, you have no right to view this video. Again, today I'm going to take this opportunity to give recognition to some of our most fearless liberal liars. If it wasn't for their uncanny ability to foster delusion, our movement to destroy capitalism would be deader than bin Laden, and our government could never enjoy this incredible earthly delight. Before I give the recognition that these illusionists so rightfully deserves, I want to commend all L.I.E. members for flawlessly adhering to the top 3 principles that make the L.I.E. a success. Of course, those principles are, number 1, always blame the rich. We all know that the rich are the ones who really pay the taxes and that their efforts create additional wealth for everyone in this country. But if we continue to depict them as greedy pigs, they'll never be able to defend themselves. And most importantly, the American public can never learn that it is we liberals that prevent the rich from really sharing their wealth. If we simply gave them a tax credit rather than a tax deduction for charitable contributions, the rich would give their money to the poor in droves. Of course, this redistribution of wealth would bypass the government and we wouldn't see a dime of it. I know, it's freaking scary. Another very important fact to remember as we deride the rich is that they really don't have the money. Bill Gates might be worth billions of dollars, but he really only has the money that's in his wallet. Of course, the rest of his money has been invested, which means it's hard at work in the hands of millions of Americans in the private sector. So unless we steal Bill's wallet, when we tax the rich, we're really taking money from people who need it. Don't get me wrong, this is a good thing. The last thing we need is the private sector growing with self-sufficient people. We all know we need people to need us. We need government dependence, not these entrepreneur-minded Tea Party types. This brings us to our second but equally important principle, and that is America is not fair. If we keep convincing people that they got ripped off, they'll never realize that fairness is not a requirement for wealth, or more importantly, it's not a requirement for happiness in this country. This land provides more opportunity than any country in the world, and that is why it is absolutely crucial to stay with the zero-sum game. meaning any gain in wealth is offset by a loss. If people understand that wealth is constantly being created and that the wealth pie is always getting bigger rather than the greedy rich taking more than their fair share, the whole class envy card goes down the toilet. And we all know that without the class envy card, our illusion is toast. This brings us to our third principle, and that is always, I mean always, lie about Republicans and conservatives. We all know that our agenda is an illusion, so the facts can never come out or they win. If the American people ever realize that Republicans too want a clean, safe environment, or if they realize that they have a plan to eliminate poverty rather than perpetuate it, and that they are pro-choice on abortion in that overturning Roe v. Wade simply gives the states the choice, I mean, if the truth ever comes out, we can never win the debate. Newt Gingrich is a perfect example. The man is simply brilliant, has written several books, and is probably the most qualified presidential candidate of our lifetime. If those facts come out, we are screwed. I mean, screwed in all possible ways. Easy there, Barney. The point here is that the third principle is crucial. The only way to defeat Newt is to deflect the real issues of the day and destroy him with lies. Okay, on to the recognition. I want to start out with one liberal illusionist that needs no introduction. This man is easily recognized simply by his repugnant appearance. Just kidding, Bill. Even you look better than Pelosi before her facelift. Just kidding again, Nancy. On a serious note, Bill deserves our recognition because of his candor and effectiveness. Bill's unabashed ability to blaspheme God, the remarkable way he pretends to empathize with the poor, from his mansion albeit, and his demonstrative, underhanded, yet lethal attacks on our opposition explain why Bill is loathed by all honest Americans.
Don't like white people.
Demonstrative? Who the hell put that on the teleprompter? What does that mean? Bill has successfully destroyed the hopes and dreams of millions of Americans, and he's always a top dog in creating new government dependence. Don't ever stop offending their sensibilities, Bill. Hey, which one of you bottom-tier government employees put that swastika on Bill's head? Do I need to pull your pension plan? Sorry, Bill. That was supposed to be a food stamp. Our next illusionist deserving of recognition is none other than the king of liberal illusions himself, Jon Stewart. Jon destroys the ambitions of Americans nightly by successfully ridiculing all of the traditions that made America great. No one can demoralize better than Jon. Jon, in his subtle little smirk, captivates millions of wayward youths and corrals them right into the delusional hands of despair. Without Jon's efforts, people throughout America would still think this country's great. And we all know that's not good. Jon still holds our highest award, the Hippo Award. Hypocrite is pretending to be poor ominously. Jon takes hypocrisy to new heights. Jon is selfishly rich beyond imagination, and yet so many of his nightly viewers actually think he cares about their plight. Now that is an illusion. Jon, keep that money tucked away in your vault, baby, and never stop insulting personal independence. Your reign of influence guarantees that new generations of despondent youths will parade on Wall Street with a middle finger in the air and a hand in someone else's pocket. Our next liberal illusionist is none other than Nancy Pelosi. Nancy deserves recognition simply because she has mastered the third principle. She almost derailed the Gingrich campaign by simply threatening to lie. Who cares if Gingrich is one of the most profound conservative thinkers of this century if Nancy has the dirt? Nice job, Nancy. This next illusionist is a surprise. This man is richer than me, for God's sakes, and has been silver spoon fed his entire life. He's just a pawn in the L.I.E organization, so he does require an introduction. It's none other than Governor Mark Dayton from Minnesota. Governor Dayton deserves recognition for the way he has handled the Minnesota Vikings stadium debate. In fighting for the government subsidy for millionaire Viking owner Ziggy Wolf, it was down to the wire, and old Mark had just the Minnesota millionaires targeted for a new tax. When that didn't fly, he bait and switched it into a new gas tax or a casino or something. Now, we all know that only the poor are adversely affected by a new gas tax, and even more so by a casino. But that's the beauty of the illusion. No one knows that, and we still get the money. Nice job, Mark. We need more millionaires like you, and that's no lie. Get it? Our next illusionist is as pompous and obnoxious as Mao is repugnant. Just kidding again, Bill. Seriously, this man's brazen demeanor is so offensive that even his closest friends think he's a jerk. He still deserves recognition, though, so let's give it up for Ed. I wish you were on someone else's team. Schultz. Ed is the blowhard of all blowhards, but we're stuck with him. If he was just a little more subtle with his illusion, rather than an in-your-face communist, we might not have so many honest Americans questioning our big government philosophy. Ed effectively insults and belittles our opposition, but the problem is that he does it with such an insane appetite that everyone watching thinks the fat pig's gonna devour them. So, Ed, in the immortal words of Sergeant Hoka, lighten up, Francis! Our next illusionist is also in need of discipline. In fact, this illusionist should get the L.I.E Empire's official ass spanking. Of course, we are speaking about the always effeminate, but we so love him, Lawrence O'Donnell. Our boy Lawrence here broke every rule of L.I.E when the man actually admitted he was a socialist. You heard me correctly. He admitted he is a socialist. Check out this disturbing audio.
I, Glenn, unlike you, I am not a progressive. I am not a liberal who's so afraid of the word that I had to change my name to progressive.
I'm not either.
Liberals amuse me. I am a socialist. I live to the extreme left. The extreme left of you mere liberals, okay?
Talk about counterproductivity. Nothing can set our agenda back further than a loose cannon like Lawrence. Nonetheless, Lawrence is our boy over at NBC. Without Lawrence's reign of influence at that network, they might someday start offering a conservative's opinion. Talk about a nightmare. Nice job, Lawrence, but next time, be more careful. The next illusionist, well deserving of recognition, is Doonesbury creator Gary Trudeau. This man is so frickin' rich, it's sick. Yet he's the ultimate tightwad, too. He, too, is a perfect candidate for our HIP award because his hypocrisy is second to none. The man is loaded with cash, and his charitable contributions are, well, what charitable contributions? Actually, his contributions are in the form of vicious, non-stop attacks on Republicans, for which L.I.E is eternally grateful. Keep it up, Gary. Your pen is definitely mightier than the sword. Now, to wrap up this latest video of L.I.E, I would like to offer a thank you to Black Americans, because we all understand that our agenda means perpetual poverty for Black Americans. I would also like to thank all L.I.E illusionists for the destructive use of the label Uncle Tom. It works perfect. Anytime a Black American openly supports personal responsibility or any of the other free-thinking ideas, bam, we slap them with Uncle Tom. It should also be noted that we play the race card so effectively that no one will ever know exactly what our most visible Black illusionists really think. Well, Keep the illusion alive, L.I.E members, and long live the Empire. So long.